One of the most recognizable features of the Fallout franchise is VATS. In the 3D games, it lets the player slow down time in order to target a specific body part. This has been a staple from the beginning. However, in the first two games, it allows the player to target the eyes, and more importantly, the groin. So because of that, I aim to find out, can you beat Fallout 1 with only nut shots? Rules for this run are simple. I can only use VATS to target the groin. I cannot attack anything that doesn't have a groin option, minus two exceptions that I will mention later on in the run. With all that said, let's jump into it. There's no intro scene, so we'll jump immediately into character creation. I agonized over the name, but eventually came to the conclusion that Nutcracker was the most appropriate one. I went 6 in strength, 8 in perception so I could be more accurate, 7 in endurance to soak up damage, 2 in charisma, 5 in intelligence, 10 in agility to get as many action points as possible, and 10 in luck because luck in this game is absolutely broken. Veteran players will probably know where I'm going with this. For my traits, I chose small frame to get another point in agility, and gifted because it is also completely broken. For my tag skills, I chose small guns, unarmed, and melee weapons. In hindsight, unarmed wasn't the best idea since I started using melee weapons and guns almost immediately, but oh well. I never really come into these videos with a carefully thought out plan, so these things are bound to happen. I got up close and personal with the Overseer and started the run. I decided to attack all of the rats in the opening cave. I punched the mice in the rat dicks. After being burned by the sun like the vampire I am, very accurate to real life by the way, I went towards Vault 15. But what's this? A quaint little village. I talked to the exposition NPC and got a rope, then actually went to Vault 15. Even though I know the MacGuffin isn't there, I went in anyway to get gear and XP. In the vault, I found some healing supplies, Mad Max armor, and grenades that I can't use, and a better pistol. What I didn't find was the MacGuffin, so I was off back to Shady Sand. Now the usual Fallout player would do the quests here, and usually that would include me. I went to get the big XP boost for clearing out all the rad scorpions. This is where I hit a snag in the run. Rad scorpions don't have a groin option in VATS. So I walked out and went to Junktown. I bought some supplies, shot the least subtle assassin in the crotch, and I agreed to help Killian because why not? This guy looks how I feel sometimes. Then me, Killian, and the boys took out Gizmo. After I gave Gizmo a groin injury, I picked up my first companion, Dogmeat the First. I wanted to stick around Junktown for a little while, so I did the Skulls quest. First, I had to steal a man's wife, sashes. Because of poor skill allocation, I can't lockpick for shit. So I just walked into the bar while it was open, waited until everyone left, took the makeshift urn, and waited until the bar opened up again. Then I went back to the Skulls to tell them what I did. Next, we went over to the bar to kill the owner. But I'm a goody two-shoes at heart, so I went to Lars and rounded up the Junktown police to save a life. Now, despite already being in the town walls and helping out the town guard twice, I got attacked by the gatekeeper on my way out, proving once again that gatekeepers of all kinds are the worst. But it was all fine because on my way to the hub, I picked up OP piece of gear number 1 in this run, the Stealth Boy. After getting to the hub, I picked up some gear and signed up to work for the Crimson Caravan. Since I played this game already, I knew that you needed to end up in Necropolis, so I thought I'd at least make some caps on my way. On our way there, we got jumped by mantises. Mantises? Manti? Anyway, there's no groin option, so I was useless in this fight. I just stood by the cows. After that feat of heroism, I made my way over to the sewers of Necropolis. Talked to the Wimpy Ghoul, and then one of my favorite talking heads, Set. Now I know you can sneak by the mutants, and I have a Stealth Boy which would make it extremely easy, but I want to go in guns blazing, so I shot Larry in the crotch, and did the same to Harry and the other mutants. My Bloodlust wasn't completely satisfied yet, so I took out the hidden mutant, picked up the junk, and took my sweet time trying to repair the purifier. Then I made my way over to the vault and got
the controller chip for our water purification system.
Then I was headed back to Vault 13. On my way, I came across OP item number 2, a BB gun. But not just any BB gun, the Red Ryder BB gun. Now usually the cliche warning about BB guns are that you'll shoot somebody's eye out. I can tell you for absolute certainty, that's not gonna happen. Got back to Vault 13 and talked to the talking head. I saw a Doctor Who reference. According to YouTube analytics, around 10% of the audience is from the UK, so that reference is just for you. Then I was back to the hub, where I decided that I was done being a good guy. So I worked for one of my favorite characters, Decker, to do some assassinations. First off, I was to kill a merchant and his wife. That went off without a hitch. Then I was off to kill Jane at the cathedral. Jane and I had a little bit of a sass off that resulted in me slaughtering everyone guarding the cathedral. To be fair though, they are technically the bad guys of the story. Next, I was off to the Brotherhood of Steel. Is this the best order to go about the story? No idea, but this is how I did it. Anywho, I talked to Cabot and was sent to the Glow. Now I know you can explore the rest of the Glow, but nah, that's not how we're doing it here. I just walked in, grabbed the thing, and walked out. I handed it to Cabot and was allowed into the Brotherhood bunker. I watched the fistfight lesson, got some ammo, and got a quest. And that quest sent me back to the hub to rescue a Brotherhood member that is locked up in a shack for some reason. Strode in, cracked some nuts, exploded some balls, and completed the quest. Without any clear goal, I tried and failed to get myself some power armor. I forget how I used to get power armor without doing the whole repairing the old set thing, so we'll just chill with the combat armor. And combat armor is perfect for fighting a Deathclaw. So back to the hub I went to talk to Butch about the missing caravan problem. This quest leads you to one of the best characters in the Fallout series, Harold. One thing that I think the original Fallout games did a lot better than the later 3D entries are the ghouls. Now, I understand with the limitations of the engine, they can't make all the ghouls unique, so I give them a pass. But still, you can't tell me that Harold and Set aren't some of the coolest design characters in the game. Anywho, Harold can't help, but Uncle Slappy can show you the way. I went in and shot a giant scaly radiation monster in the nuts with a BB gun and a sniper rifle. Oh yeah, I picked up one of those right before the fight, which in hindsight was kind of a waste of caps because the BB gun really is OP and isn't replaced later until I get an even more OP weapon. I eventually killed the Deathclaw and comforted a dying mutant in his final moments. Next up, I began scouting out the northern part of the map to find the Mariposa military base. Got back, talked to the elders, and made my way back into the military base. And here is where I ran into OP gear number 3, the Alien Blaster. This is why having luck at 10 is so broken. Also, I took the Velvet Elvis painting, which I held on to for the rest of the run, mainly because I have a Velvet Elvis painting in real life that I absolutely refuse to throw away. After that, I took the Brotherhood posse with me to take on the military base. Now I get that this is the end of the game area and it's supposed to be difficult, but logically, why wouldn't the Brotherhood Knights follow you in? Not that I really needed them, except for when I died, but we'll ignore that. But you know, it just kind of would make sense if they came in. Anyway, I was stuck here for a while because I couldn't figure out how to progress past the laser gates. Eventually I cut my losses and realized I was a bit ill prepared. So I went back to the hub, bought the dynamite that I sold way earlier on in the run so I can get through it. Got back and snuck my way through to the end. I didn't know what code I was supposed to pick, so I just picked one and hoped for the best. And it ended up working out just fine. On my way back to the Brotherhood, I got killed by a pack of knights.
What the fuck, man?
Next was my first attempt to kill the Master. I was pretty cocky coming back from the military base. And here is where I find out that there's no groin option to fight the Master. I decided I needed to make an exception because talking your way out of this fight is kinda anticlimactic. So I chose this one as the general groin area since it was kind of at the bottom. Died again, and again, and again. I attempted to leave, but when I came in, I thought there wasn't a groin option for the centaurs, so I ran past everyone. but I noticed that there is an option, so I tried to fight my way through, and died again. Eventually, I scared off the mutants and centaur until it was just me and the floaters. Now, the floaters don't have a groin option, so I had to walk past them. Despite me saying that talking your way out of the final fight is kinda lame, I left to buy mentats to raise my intelligence so I could do just that. I don't know what I did wrong, but there was not an option to do that. So, frustrated, I chose to side with the master. Don't worry, I was coming back. On my next attempt, after being thoroughly frustrated, I made another exception for the floaters. I mean, they have float sacks. Honestly, after this video, I think that's just what I'm gonna call balls now. If only juvenile humor would make me better at video games, because I died yet again. Eventually, I said, fuck it, I need to level up a bit. So I headed back to the boneyard and killed a bunch of death claws until I could max out my energy weapon skill and attempted to fight the master again. Died one last time. And then finally, after 8 fucking attempts, the master was finally defeated.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
And I wiped out the rest of the mutants in the room. Made my escape, blew up the cathedral, and got kicked out of the vault to prove, yes, you can beat Fallout with only nut shots. This was such a fun run. I like to play through the original Fallout game every once in a while. Something about the talking heads and overall art style of the game make me really fall in love with it. I hope this inspires Fallout fans that may not have played the classic games to give it a try. They are really hard to get into, but very rewarding once you get the hang of it. I say as I never finished the second game. As you saw, the first game is pretty short, all things considered. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and let me know of any challenges you want to see in the future. This has been Red Handed Gaming. Stay safe, and God bless.